So we've survived in this Minecraft world for over 1,000 days. However, everything we did in those 1,000 days was kind of like standard Minecraft stuff. I mean, we killed the Ender Dragon, we built some farms, we built a little city, and as fun as that was, and it was fun, I think it's time we build something just cool, just straight up cool. The only thing is I don't know what to build. Now, I've been in a dry spell before when it comes to ideas, and that's when I realized I can do the same thing now as I did then. You see, when this happened before, I figured let's just copy the greatest creator there is, God. When I did this before, I researched the world and I came across the cliffs of Moher. I don't exactly know how to say it, but we looked up some pictures and we built it in Minecraft, and I gotta say, I think it looks pretty cool. So I began researching the world, and that's when I came across this national forest in China that goes by the name Zhangjiajie. Again, I don't really know how to say it. It seems like everything cool in this world just seems to have a level of difficulty when it comes to the pronunciation of the title. I'm just gonna call it a mountain range, a mountainous region. That's what we're gonna build. We're gonna build this. Or we're gonna try. So we can't really just freeball these mountains, because I know me and I know that would not turn out looking very good. So instead, I'm gonna design them first in this creative building mod called Axiom, and then once we have the design, we'll go ahead and build it in the hardcore world. I don't use Axiom all that much, like at all, so it's very likely I'm gonna do things inefficiently, but hopefully we can still come out with a final design that'll look pretty cool, but only time will tell. So for these mountain peaks, I think we're just gonna do tubes, except we are gonna need to make them quite a bit taller. I don't know about you guys, but that seems like a good starting point to me. I think I have most of the outlines for the mountains that I want here. Now we just need to make them look more like mountains and less like red tubes. Axiom has a lot of tools when it comes to making mountains and shaping them into like a natural formation. We're not going to get into them now because, to be honest, I hardly understand them myself, but I'm using said tools to kind of fine-tune all these tubes that I just stuck into the ground. Alright, for the most part, I think we got things looking semi-decent. Now we're going to start actually using blocks that we'll use in the world instead of just red concrete, because, you know, as interesting as red concrete is, I don't think we'll stick with it. Okay, so I know this still looks kind of whack, but I think it's coming along. I really do. So when I put the dirt on all these towers, it looks too much like dirt. That's on me. From the side, from up top, it's green, but from the side, it's brown. So I'm switching these to moss blocks and hoping that will kind of fix the look from the side. And keep in mind, we're still going to add like a ton of trees and greenery and stuff off these mountains, just not in Axiom. We're just going to bone meal the heck out of everything once we get in survival. So this is the simple base design that we're going to be using. The main blocks in these structures are moss blocks, diorite, andesite, stone, grass, and dirt. So we're gonna have to get a lot of each of those blocks before we can actually build, but this is the design we're gonna go off of. It's not super fine-tuned or anything, but it'll work for me. So we need to get a lot of moss blocks, but don't worry, I have a plan. Goodness, this skin looks so goofy around the eyes when I have a helmet on. This is what it looks like without the helmet, and this is what it looks like with the helmet. Oh my goodness. Just ran into a little bit of a snag. I wasn't actually recording the screen I wanted to be recording, but I'll re-explain it to you guys so you know what's going on. So we need over like 200,000 moss blocks, but this machine here makes moss blocks because it's a bone meal farm. If you look, it pushes stone in this stone generator, and then it turns it to moss, and then eventually the water will flush it out, and all the moss blocks go that way. Now, what I was trying to explain earlier is the moss blocks go into hoppers, which used to go into composters down here, but I rerouted them to go into these chests. So we're just gonna get a bunch of moss blocks in these chests and have this thing running while we're doing other stuff in the world. Okay, this should be enough chests. Boy, do I hope, because it is a lot. Look at all these chests, all needing to be filled up with moss blocks. I suppose we should test it out to make sure it's working. All right, let's turn it on. Unfortunately, we are going to get some things that aren't moss blocks going in here. Unless I build a filtration system, it's just going to have to be manually filtered out. I'm not entirely sure if I want to build the filtration system yet, but we should have moss blocks appearing in this bottom chest here pretty soon. And there we go. It would really be smart to build a filtration system. I actually don't think it's that difficult, so I might do that. Okay, now it looks like it's sorting moss blocks. Sweet. Let's throw some seeds in here and make sure it's sorting stuff correctly. Okay, seeds are getting dispensed, which is good. So we should only be getting moss blocks down here. Everything that's not a moss block should be getting incinerated, and everything that is a moss block should be getting stored. Let's get this stone farm smelting again. For those of you who didn't watch the video where I survived 1,000 days in this world already, this is just one of the many farms that I built. I have a stone farm, an iron farm, a wood farm, bone meal farm, and I'm using those in this project. And I think we're gonna have to collect the grass blocks and dirt by hand, unfortunately, because dirt farms are pretty difficult to make. All my gear is pretty low on durability right now, so it might be time to make an XP farm. We need to get our hands on some name tags. It took pretty much all the emeralds I had, but we finally unlocked the name tag trade. Now we should be able to start working on this XP farm. I have decided to build an Enderman XP farm in the end. There may be some better ones with the new updates, I'm not entirely sure, but the Enderman XP farm has always been extremely efficient in my eyes, and as far as I'm concerned, that's all that I need. We need the name tag to name this little guy, who I named George. I'm not entirely sure why, but he needs to stay spawned in. That way all the Endermen come running at him and fall down the slot where I am, and I just collect all their XP. Alright, let's see if this Enderman XP farm works. So if I put my tools in my offhand, we can heal them up pretty quickly. Because I switched around this farm a little bit so that all the moss blocks and such filter out into these chests, it's not actually filtering bone meal back into itself, which it needs in order to function. Bone meal needs to go back into this dispenser here so that it can bone meal the moss blocks and create more. And it was self-sufficient, and now it's not. So we're gonna go grab a bunch of bone meal and start feeding this thing manually for a bit. You get 9 bone meal for every 1 bone block, so if we just grab a couple stacks of bone blocks, we're gonna be set to run that moss block machine for quite a while. This should be enough bone meal for the foreseeable future. I'm back at the XP farm because I need a lot more levels of XP because I'm going to enchant a lot of shovels here. As you can imagine, it's easy to make shovels, so I'm just going to make a bunch of them and then use them till they break and then move on to the next one. We're going to want silk touch and non-silk touch shovels because we want grass blocks and just dirt blocks. Also, we're going to want the shovels to all have efficiency and unbreaking on them. I think I'm going to move the enchanting setup over to the XP farm, that way they're right next to each other, so I can just spam the XP farm and then enchant something and then spam the XP farm again. Should save me a lot of travel time. Let's go get some dirt. Here's the thing, I don't want to get it from close by because that would look real bad if we just took all the dirt off of our island. So we're gonna go take some dirt from somewhere over here. Okay, here's the thing. I just forgot to grab all of my shulker boxes, so we're going back. I could totally run into a mountain right now, and I wouldn't be able to see it coming because I'm looking at my face. Oh look, we're back. It's really not that many shulker boxes, but you know what, for now, let's just take these. Alright, and we are back out on the lookout for dirt. This will do. We're not leaving this place until it's barren. Maybe we can do a transition just like this. As far as collecting dirt goes, I suppose that wasn't bad, but it's never the most exciting thing in the world. Also, we're gonna need so much more dirt, so yeah. Good news, everyone. I found another good dirt patch. I guess it's not good news for the dirt, but it's good news for me. Did kind of mess up that transition a little bit. I was looking at the wrong tree. Guys, I was just searching for another place to collect dirt, and look what I found. In the midst of this spruce forest, there's just a random hill with a village on it and a pillager outpost down here. It's just like a random plateau of a different biome, like a random plains biome in this spruce forest. This is sick. Alright, I'd like to introduce everyone to dirt site number 3. Rip to another plains biome. Check it out all the dirt we got. All right, last one. Dirt site number 4. Here we go. And another terrain destroyed. So hopefully we've gotten all the dirt we need. Now we need lots of diorite and andesite, which are of course in caves. So we're out here looking for caves right now. In fact, there's a ravine right here that could work. I can already see some exposed diorite. We're using TNT to collect diorite and andesite, which may not be the best method, but we have a lot of TNT and this definitely makes the process more fun. And because we have to get so much of it, we might as well throw some fun into the process of collecting all these blocks. Alright, I have no idea if we've collected enough andesite or diorite, but I'm tired of collecting it, so we're going to move on to the next item, which is stone. Here we have a cobblestone generator, which just needed a few repairs because it kind of blew itself up in the past. So we're going to get this thing running again so we can get lots of cobblestone, and then we're going to smelt that cobblestone into stone. That will in turn, through a system of water elevators, be fed into our storage system where we will collect all the stone and then use it to build the mountains. I'm going to add some more furnaces to kind of speed up the process here, because right now we only have 2 furnaces going, but if we have like 30 or 20, then that could really help out. Now I'm collecting a bunch of coal to power these furnaces. Ideally we'd have an infinite source, like a carpet duper or something, and I do have a carpet duper for the main 2 furnaces that were already there, but I don't really feel like making more carpet dupers or rerouting the one that's already there. So I'm just gonna collect a bunch of coal for now, and then we'll see how things go after that. Didn't see that one coming, but we are onto our last totem, so it's probably gonna be a good idea to get more totems also. There's something I want to try out. I know in the more recent versions, ender pearls load their own chunks. So if I were to grab some ender pearls and throw one through another portal, would I go through it? Oh, yeah. Sweet. Oh, whoa. Holy cow, that was sketchy. The pearl literally just flew straight through the portal into the wall over there. Alright, we have a bunch of coal blocks to load into the furnaces. Each coal block smelts like 80 items, I think, so it'll last for a while. Now that I'm thinking about it, lava buckets would probably be our best option because they smelt a bunch too and they're super easy to get. So once the coal blocks run out, we'll probably switch over to lava buckets. But the important part is we actually get going. We get going here because I want to actually start building the mountains. Bro dropped a trident. Let's go. Do we already have a trident? I don't know if we have a trident already or not. I was fixing up this farm because the zombie here died. So the iron golems, instead of walking down there, they were just walking around here. I saw that trident guy, so I took him out and he dropped a trident. And good news, the iron golems are walking forward again. I believe I have an ominous bottle somewhere. Here it is. Okay, we're gonna start a raid and get some more totems. We just need to find a village. Here's one. If you've never started a raid before, just drink one of these ominous bottles, wait a few seconds, and then a raid should start. This also gives me a great opportunity to try out this new trident that I just acquired. That was very sketchy. That was extremely sketchy. But we are still alive. I thought we might not be for a second. I kind of got a little ambitious. Trying to take out that dude. Yay, raid's over. We won. We got a few totems. Unfortunately, we did waste one, but it looks like we got like 4 or 5 new ones, so it's worth it. Back to our regularly scheduled programming of getting materials. Just kidding, you know, we can skip to the part where we actually start building the mountains. I just want to let you guys know that in the meantime, I just spent a ton of time gathering stone and diorite and andesite and all of these blocks that we just needed so many of. It took forever, guys. It took absolutely forever, as I'm sure you know, because I haven't posted a hardcore video since the 1st of January, and we're in the latter part of February right now. So, you know, if you're considering taking on a project like this, just know that it might take a while. Also, that spider is going crazy. Anyways, look at this trident right now. So what I did is I threw it, and then I filled up all my inventory slots, and then so when it tries to come back to me, it can't go in my inventory, but it still has a loyalty on it. So now it's just like floating around me. That's kind of crazy. Do we have all the materials we need? I would put so much money that we don't.
but we're still gonna start. I want to make it close by to a home base spawn for a couple reasons. One, so I don't have to move the materials that far, and two, because it'll just be cool to be next to the home base. So I think we're gonna aim for just over here. Wow, those things are tall. Okay, wait, hold on. I want to make sure that we don't put them above build limit. So let's grab some blocks. Let's build a visual representation of build height. Oh, okay. So we don't place these mountains too high. Okay, here it is. Height limit for building, 319 blocks. We are way up here. Holy cow. My goodness. As long as we don't go above that, we're chilling. I'm not entirely sure which way is the front. As in, I don't know if this needs to be rotated or not. I think that's the front. I mean, relatively to where I made it. If I fly, is my PC gonna explode? Okay, yeah, that's totally not the front. I think everything is in order. So this is how they're gonna be placed. Dude, I made this schematic so large. Holy cow. So now all that's left is to build it. This is gonna go well. Let's build this one pillar at a time, one layer at a time. So if we do render layers, set here, boom. Now all that's loaded is the singular layer of this one. We are gonna do this. Litematica, which I'm using for the schematics, has an easy place function to place blocks faster, which I will of course be using because I think I'd be crazy not to. My word, these are tall towers. Look at the city we built before. That's build height limit, so we're pretty close to it. That took forever to build, and we have so many more. We have some stuff to take care of here. We've run out of andesite. No. We've run out of diorite, and we're low on andesite, and we still have a few mountains left to build. I'm out of TNT, pretty much. Oh, look, there's some diorite here, actually. I'm pretty much out of TNT, so I'm gonna have to mine this stuff manually. But I think it'd go a lot faster if I had a beacon. We are gonna go to the nether, and we're gonna go see if we can get 3 wither skulls, spawn a wither, kill it, and then make a beacon. Why are there so many of you guys? What? And nobody dropped a wither skull. That's crazy. It took a little while, but we got one. Just 2 more. I'm not even joking you. The very next wither skeleton we killed dropped a second one. What the? Did you see that guy just go all the way up that lava fall? That was insane. Oh my goodness. It does happen. We finally got a third wither skull. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's get out. I don't know which way is out, but we're going. Man, I have messed around with the wither way too much. Him and I have beef. So instead of actually fighting him normally,
we are going to spawn him in bedrock and let him suffocate, because I just do not want to deal with that man right now. Okay, well, never mind. I guess we're fighting him. We have to make sure that we kill him over land, and also that he doesn't break the XP farm if we can. Yeah, okay, he's already withered me. Okay, his wither effect is insane. Holy cow. Okay, I think I'm gonna set up a little tunnel system underground actually to try to fight him that way. If we can lure him down here and fight him underground over here, that would be ideal. Okay, we got his attention. We got his attention. Follow me down here. Might be able to like get him like this. He's kind of like... Oh, he withered me. I want to keep up the pressure though, so let's just eat a golden apple. Oh my goodness, you big turd. He's so close to switching to his melee mode. There he is. Here we go. Now we can just kill him like this. Now we got him. Now we got him. Okay, we got him, and here is our nether star. Let's see how much we're gonna make it out of iron, because we have just a ton of iron. Okay, that should already be more than enough. We have enough for our beacon. Now we can go mining. Yay! We have the beacon in place. If we set it to haste 2 and power it, we should be able to mine pretty fast. Although the drawbacks of a beacon is you have to stay in range of it. Also, it has to be able to see the sky, so we had to choose this spot very specifically. But let's see here. If we wanted to mine all this diorite, is that really haste 2? Feels like it should be faster. We set up the beacon again. I went all the way back and got efficiency 5 on both my pickaxes because they were at efficiency 4, just in hopes that I'll be able to insta-mine basically all this stuff now. Let's see. Yes, this is much more like it. It's crazy how much the difference is from efficiency 4 to efficiency 5. Look how fast this is. It's like you're mining netherrack in the nether. Alright, we are right back on building schedule. Added bonus to the beacon is we can use it for speed, so we can build the mountains even faster. Alright guys, we finished the last mountain. All the mountains still need a little bit more detail, so we'll work on that. And a lot of patchwork, there's a lot of holes. Probably because I missed a lot of spots, and also because Endermen have probably been stealing blocks here and there. But the hardest part is done. The main project, the structure of the mountains is built. Now we just have to decorate them a little bit, and hopefully they'll look pretty good. All right, so I went to the jungle and I got some vines here. I'm gonna put the vines on the side of this dirt wall so they can be growing, so we can get more vines. Because I think some vines, I don't want to overdo it, but some vines on the sides of these mountains could look cool. Man, there are so many little gaps on the sides of these mountains. It's way easier to tell where the holes are from the inside of these things, because it just shows a lot of light. Like here you can see there's one. We're just going to go ahead and throw some vines on some of these mountains, just to add a little bit of spice to them here and there. I don't want to do too much, but just here and there we'll add some vines. We have a few more things to do. Alright, we need some bone meal. So let's take all the bones out of here. So if we take this bone meal and we bone meal the moss blocks and the grass, we can just start growing a bunch of stuff up on top of these mountains. That way they don't look so barren. And if I think we can bone meal these. Yeah, we can bone meal the bushes, turn them into trees. Okay, I think that looks good. All right, let's just go do that to all of them now. If you notice in my reference picture, there's a lot of trees around the very bottoms of the mountains, the base. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is plant some trees around the bottom. Bet you didn't see that coming. That's a lot of trees. I ran out of saplings before I could really fill out this whole area, but I don't think this area is that important. Alrighty, well, I think we're done. This took about 700 Minecraft days to do in this world, not including the design process and stuff, and most of it was just getting the materials, but this looks pretty sweet. Let's see how it looks with some shaders.